So with Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, if you are a savvy chick, and just like the name of my conference, you are licensed and you are unbothered. And so by you being licensed and unbothered, it means that you are savvy enough to figure out, okay, if somebody's going to pay me to do a BPO, how can I get multiple BPOs? How can I go and sign up with more companies? If somebody's going to offer me an REO listing, okay, how can I take this one REO and then maximize that to be able to get more? If I'm going to work with a seller, how can I work with multiple sellers? So it's all about that savvy mindset, that savvy chick in real estate, that if I figure out how I can get multiple streams of income in one area, I don't have to be like, okay, you're my competition, I'm not going to help you. I can be like, I taught myself how to get a bag, I can teach you how to get it as well. And so that builds the sense of community over competition. And that's what Savvy Chicks in Real Estate actually stands for, in addition to us being a marketing agency and also a business consulting agency.
You are listening to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with host Kevin Jefferson. This is the #1 podcast for African American real estate professionals who are doing extraordinary things. It's time to tune in. And now, your host, the People's Lender, Kevin Jefferson.
Welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson, and today we have a special guest hailing out of the state of Illinois. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on today. I'm very excited.
That's awesome. This has been a long time coming, Makeda, so I definitely want to make sure I capitalize on, the few minutes that you have available for us, because we know you're a busy lady. Tell us who you are.
So, hello, everyone. My name is Makeda Smith. I am a real estate broker in the state of Illinois. I've been licensed for the last 17 years. I'm also a business consultant, business coach. I am the CEO and founder of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, and also 7-figure CEO.
Gotcha. Awesome. So 17 years in real estate and you have your own brokerage. What were you doing prior to real estate?
So prior to real estate, I was in customer service. I was doing customer service for, I don't know if everybody is familiar with COBRA insurance. So it's the insurance that you get once you get fired from a job, or you offer the severance package and you have to continue your health insurance. They offer you COBRA, and COBRA insurance is very, very expensive. And so I was a customer service rep for the actual company, and I just wound up quitting. They offered me a severance package. I quit in 2004, February 2004. I started real estate then, and I haven't looked back or had a job since.
Awesome. That's amazing. So when you started in real estate in 2004, how was your first year?
So when I started in 2004, I actually sold 7 homes my first year in real estate. And when I talked to people, back then, that was amazing. Even today, that's amazing. But I credit it to the broker that I had at that time. I'm in Chicago. So there's a small suburb called Oak Park, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, where I ended up having that to be like the first company that I worked for, a Century 21, mom and pop. The guy name was Mr. Murphy, an older gentleman, and he just took me under his wings. And then he taught me how to go about and do everything as it relates to real estate. And I was able to close 7 properties my first year. And one of the things I also credit to is being able to collaborate and partner with different organizations that offered down payment assistance programs, neighborhood housing programs. And I was like, how can I become your referred agent? And every time I tell people that story, and also as it relates to me being successful in just who I am, when you think about what God has birthed in you, has instilled in you, I've always, growing up, my dad taught me I have been a hustler. And so I went from, even on a job, to making $10 an hour, to be like, how can I get to 16? How can I get to 14? And though it may not be a lot to some people today, it was a lot to me, then, but my mindset was always on, how can I elevate? How can I leverage this time or leverage this relationship so that I can get to where I want to be even much faster. So now you hear me talk a lot about expeditiously and exponentially. How can I do this faster? How can we spread this out to more people in a shorter period of time?
Gotcha. Great segue. So how did you expedite the process to get to the level you are now? Like, what are some things that you put in place to grow? Because 7 is awesome. Some people in this market we're in now don't sell 7. So to sell 7 your first year, that is a great number. How did you expedite the process?
So let me tell you, so before I even got here, so this is like a 17-year journey. So starting in 2004, selling 7 homes. I think within maybe two years, I wasn't really selling anything. Because the thing about real estate is that when you take your foot off of the gas in real estate, it can be a year, it can be 6 months before you catch your next deal because you took your foot off of the gas. And so this is why I always teach agents that when you start in the real estate business, you have to be consistent and you have to make sure that you duplicate whatever process you're going to follow over and over again without taking your foot off of the gas, because you can have a roller coaster career. So what I actually did in 2008, I was presented with an opportunity that came up with Countrywide, where they were looking for agents to do BPO reports for them. I didn't know what a BPO report was, but just me being inquisitive, I'm like, I'm gonna find out what this is and see if this thing is true. And they offered to pay me $50 per report. And I was like, wow, $50 per report. And my mind is always like, okay, if I do 100, I can make this. If I do 50, I can make this. And so then I began to do those reports. I then found out what REO was. So it's real estate owned by a bank or an entity, and it's a foreclosed property. And so I learned that from BPO, I can position myself to be a real estate agent for banks. And so then I began to research and find out, how can I get in front of these people? So that's the strategist in me before I even knew I was a strategist. And so I found that I could get in front of them by going and showing up where they were. And long story short, I ended up getting a listing with Freddie Mac agreement with them, who said, hey, we're ready for you. We want to give you 50 listings. And so that began my career to be a top producer in real estate, with closing 50 deals per year. And then me even being burned out from that, I had to get my husband. I'm like, look, baby, I got all these listings coming in. I need some help to unload some of these listings. Had I known then what I know now, I would have just built a team. But I seen my husband as being that team person. And so he went and got his license, and he became a broker owner right out the gate, because back then you didn't have to be under anybody. You can just go and get your managing broker license. And that's what he did. And we became a team together, closing over 100 deals, per year, and making 6 figures each, not just me by myself, but both of us together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that expedited my real estate career.
Wow. So how long did this run at the REOs go?
So I fired my last client in 2017, and it was VA. It was a VA client. That's the government. And I wound up firing that last client because the one thing that they don't tell you, REO is all, nice and pretty when you have a lot of it. But when you don't have a lot and it's not in bulk, it's not as profitable as having like 1 or 2 REO listings, unless they're at a higher price point. So I wound up firing that last client in 2017. I got back into real estate on the buy and sell end. And then that's when I was introduced to social media even more, that I actually started using it as a platform to generate my own leads. And it took off from there. I went from being a real estate agent and being top producer again to now I started my own marketing agency. And after that, my own coaching business.
Wow. So in terms of being introduced to social media, what platform were you introduced to?
So at first I was already on Instagram, but I was, playing with Instagram. I would post here and there, but the platform that really helped me to take off was Periscope and Snapchat. So I used Periscope and Snapchat to build my real estate business. And when it came to Periscope, it was a young lady by the name of Sonia here in Chicago. She put together a Facebook group and she asked certain realtors to be a part of it to where we would go live. We called it a scope train. So within this scope train, it was all real estate agents, and we would go live from this time to that time on Periscope with one topic, and we all would speak as it relates to that one topic from our own individual perspective. And so that allowed me to build up my audience that then followed me on Periscope, but then they also followed me on to Instagram, because the whole goal, as we talked about earlier, was how can I leverage both of these platforms? So I leveraged Periscope to get me more followers on Instagram and to build up my audience over there.
Gotcha. So are you still utilizing Periscope?
No, Periscope, they actually just killed Periscope. Like Periscope is no more as of March of 2021. They actually get away with it. And so it's no more Periscope, but I love Instagram. That is my go-to platform. You will find me on Instagram more than you will find me on any other platform, including Facebook.
Got you. So what birthed your business, Savvy Chicks?
So how Savvy Chicks came about, I launched it in October of 2017. Because I was doing so well on social media myself, a lot of the agents began to follow me because, you know, when you are doing well in your own industry, people in your industry is going to follow those that they think that are top tier within that industry. And so agents began to reach out to me, asking me who's doing your marketing, how can I get my following up, like what type of things should I be posting to my page. What came really simple and easy for me was a struggle for other people. And the more that they began to reach out, I'm like, you know what? This is a business opportunity. And so then I actually launched a business out of, because remember, we talked about leverage. So I launched a business out of everyone reaching out to me because it had began to take up my time. And I'm like, this is taking me away from real estate. And so that's when I actually launched the business, especially when I got that one client that was like, can I pay you for your services? And I was like, somebody's willing to pay me for social media. And so it started from that.
Got you. And so tell us a little bit exactly what Savvy Chicks, what you do with that.
So Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, I wanted to have a dope name. So I thought about Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. The whole meaning behind a savvy chick in real estate is basically the concept that I believe community over competition. So if you are a savvy chick in real estate, what they normally teach us in real estate is that we are each other's competition. So whether it's woman against woman, a man against a man, or a man against a woman, whatever, we are each other's competition. And they teach us not to work together because we are each other's competitor. So with Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, if you are a savvy chick, and just like the name of my conference, you are licensed and you are unbothered. And so by you being licensed and unbothered, it means that you are savvy enough to figure out, okay, if somebody's going to pay me to do a BPO, how can I get multiple BPOs? How can I go and sign up with more companies? If somebody's going to offer me an REO listing, okay, how can I take this one REO and then maximize that to be able to get more? If I'm going to work with a seller, how can I work with multiple sellers? So it's all about that savvy mindset, that savvy chick in real estate, that if I figure out how I can get multiple streams of income in one area, I don't have to be like, okay, you're my competition, I'm not going to help you. I can be like, I taught myself how to get a bag, I can teach you how to get it as well. And so that builds the sense of community over competition. And that's what Savvy Chicks in Real Estate actually stands for, in addition to us being a marketing agency and also a business consulting agency.
Got you. So in terms of utilize, like, okay, let's take the BPO model, right? Mm-hmm. And at what point do you suggest a person capitalize off of that opportunity?
So I say when the opportunity presents itself. because just like scripture tells us, and I take scriptures and I flip them around or whatever, but it talks about how if you study to show yourself approved. And so now if I take that same scripture and I apply it to entrepreneurship, if I am a marketer, then I'm going to study to show myself to be a marketer. If I'm doing BPOs, then I'm going to study myself to be the best person to actually perform and to do a BPO. So I'm going to study that thing. How can I create better return on value for my clients? How can I, make the content, like even if I'm describing a property, how can I make my wording better? Like, how can I come to a better, a better as is price versus repaired price? How do I come up with better, comparables to put in my actual report? So anytime you get into any type of industry or any type of field, the time to study to show yourself approved is now. It's always now. So that when opportunity presents itself, you don't have to get ready because you have already stayed ready by always studying and improving your craft. So it's now.
So I love that scripture, 2 Timothy 2:15.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that scripture. I had to learn it when I was a kid in Bible study, and it stuck with me for years. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
I didn't know where it was. I just know, I know the scripture, and I just apply it to my business, that whatever it is that somebody, that I'm doing, because I don't do everything that everybody asks me, but if it's something that I'm going to take on, I'm going to study it and I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm going to find out new ways to be able to market it. And then how can I build a better package per se, so that I stand out from my competitors as well.
Got you. So Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, what is the ideal client for you in terms of not buyers or sellers, but realtor that comes to you and needs your marketing services?
So for me, a savvy chick in real estate who is an ideal client would be somebody who I just got off the phone with. Her name is Evelyn. And Evelyn was like, I need you to take a look at my website because I don't feel like it's where it needs to be. I also am struggling to be able to close real estate transactions. And how can I get in front of this? Well, Evelyn, I'm like, Evelyn, you're in the membership program. So really, if you are applying everything that we're teaching inside of the membership program, just like other agents within the program, you're going to be at 6 and 7 figures in income because you are consistently applying everything that we're teaching you. And so I said that she said, well, how do I create an ebook? I said, I just taught that class before I got sick in June. I said, that's actually one of the replays you can go out and look at. How do I create a course? We didn't already taught that. And so for me, we're teaching agents how to maximize on their real estate transactions because that's what they're used to. That's what they went to school for. But in addition to that, we're helping them to add on digital products so that they're not always dependent upon a real estate transaction closing in order to be able to make money. I need you to make money through real estate transactions, through you hosting events, through you having consultations, and then you also having your own bulk of digital products. So that way you have multiple streams of income coming in and you're not always waiting on a commission check. So my ideal client for a realtor is somebody that wants multiple streams of income, want to build their real estate business in addition to their income portfolio. Got you.
And do you bring on clients from all 50 states, or you're just centralized? Okay.
Yep. And so we're going global because the same business methods that we're teaching can apply in Africa. It can apply to a realtor in Egypt. Like it's not just United States to where we have agents, but we actually have members in Canada. So I want to go across the water to where we are bringing in people that are in all of these other countries that are very far away, because the concept is the concept. So if you have not only your real estate services on top of digital products, and then the other things that you can add on, like a lot of these agents can be creating their own t-shirt line as it relates to selling a house too. Got a house? You see that one, got milk, got a house, got a building. So same thing that they can do to be able to have some additional income coming in. When it comes to real estate agents that, you're looking at everybody else create a planner, But what about a home buyer planner? What about a home buyer journal? You don't have to just go and buy these things for other people. What if you were in a position to hire somebody to create these things for you? And so this is what I'm teaching them, as well as the difference between a millionaire mindset and a billionaire mindset. A millionaire mindset thinks about, well, how many people can I sell to in order to be able to get to $1 million? A billionaire mindset says, how can I go global? How can I take this to mass production? Like, how can I make this bigger than what I was actually thinking? And some people may call that billionaire crazy, like we do with Elon Musk, but I mean, he gets the job done.
Right. So it sounds like you feel like the information that you learn as a realtor, that's what you utilize to create those multiple streams, right?
Yes. Yep.
And a lot of people, so you believe that instead of having 7 different type of businesses for your multiple streams, utilize that one stream and have 7 different legs.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Because I am not so like with real estate, it's so much. So you have real estate as a terminology, so it's kind of like an org chart. So if you have real estate at the top, then you have all of these streams pouring off of real estate. So you can have your investment property pouring off of it. You can have your real estate transactions pouring off of it, your courses, your master classes. You can have real estate events. So it's so much surrounding real estate that you can have these multiple legs, as you said, to be able to build these multiple streams. And that way it makes sense. It keeps you from not having to be all over the place trying to keep up with all these different streams of income. And then a lot of people, like my coach used to say, we looking for streams. We're not looking for trickles. So people have trickles when really you need to close up that trickle so that you can be streaming in some of these other areas.
And that's amazing. So do you still get coached?
I will always get coached. Like, I will always get coached, because remember, it goes back to that studying to show yourself approved, so that when opportunity comes, you don't have to get ready for it. You stay ready for it. And so I will always have a coach. And it would be somebody who is above me, or somebody who also keeps me accountable. So even if that person like, Makeda, well, you're a coach, like you already know to do that. My coach can also keep me accountable to my goals. And a lot of times people have it, incorrect as to what a coach is, that they think a coach is going to come in and do your job as in doing the work, when the coach is the person that comes in to lay out the plays, to tell you what to do, and then you carry the ball so that you can make the touchdown. Like it's you. And then if the coach has to show you how to hire on the team so that you can hit your touchdown, then I'm going to coach you into hiring your VA, into hiring your COO of your business. A lot of the times realtors are far behind when it comes to building their business, because they're looking at, okay, like, the real estate model of yesterday, when we should be looking at how is it that other people are building their business. Right now, a lot of people don't know, in real estate, you can have an OBM. So an OBM, because a lot of us are virtual, is your online business manager in place of your office manager. If you had a physical location, you would have an office manager. But if you have a virtual real estate business, then you can have a online business manager that manages your product. And my company, it's me as a CEO. And then underneath me, I have a COO, I have a CFO to manage my money, because that is not my strong suit. I know how to make it, but to manage it, I needed to bring her in. I also have a chief technology officer that helps me with courses, that helps me with systems. And then we have a content strategist. We have a social media manager. We got a copywriter. So my business model may not look like what somebody else should have in their business model. Everybody should look at your company, assess your needs, and then hire accordingly. A lot of people are afraid to hire because they like, nobody's going to do it like me. And that is true. But you think that Walmart got to where it's at, or Target, because the owner said, well, kept saying, nobody's going to do it like me. They had to let it go in order to expand.
How many agents do you have in your company?
So for me and how I have positioned myself, And like, you said on Clubhouse, you heard me say that I haven't like sold anything. So it's just me, my husband, and it's his aunt. So it's just three of us. And so his aunt does business, my husband does business, and right now I don't do anything. I just maintain my license, and I'm over here thriving in Savvy Chicks and Real Estate, teaching what I already know because I've already paid my dues. I already been, top producer. I already didn't work with buyers, sellers, and investors, that now I'm in a teaching position now. So I don't have, my husband even asked me yesterday, he was like, I want to, build up our agency. I said, don't look for me because I'm busy over here. Like I have no time to train agents within a company. If they come to Savvy Chicks and Real Estate, I can train them, but I can't do anything for Smith and Partners Realty Group. That would be all on you. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it safe to say you made multiple six figures last year?
Yes. Yep. Safe to say that I made multiple six figures. And I tell everyone, just to be completely transparent, my first year in Savvy Chicks and Real Estate, I was at 28K. Then that following year, full year, I was at 117K. Last year was 331. Now this was supposed to be my $1 million year, according to me, always tripling my income. But I got sick. God had other plans. And so I'm like, okay, God, if it's not this year, then next year, if it's the Lord's will. But he had other plans for this year. I still exceeded already my income from last year. So I exceeded that. I was just hoping to be at 7 figures, but it's no longer one of the goals that's pressing, like, okay, I have to get there. I have to get there. I no longer care anymore after almost facing death and, being able to survive, not being able to walk, not being able to talk. I have prioritized what's important in my life, and my life is important in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So first of all, we're glad you're still here with us, right?
Thank you.
In that time that you were sick, was your Savvy Chicks and Real Estate business still operating on its own?
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Because I had already had my people in place. When I crossed over into the year of 2021, I made sure that I had a CFO, that I had a COO. My CTO was already, always with me. But then I had my content strategist that was always with me. But now having a COO, that's your person who is the second in charge of your business. So they're the ones who carry out the vision of the CEO to make sure that everybody on the team is doing their job and that the project is continuing to move without you. One of the things that I looked at, and what I tell people now, is that had I not been sick, I would never have been able to see the ability of my team to be able to operate completely without me. And I say that because my COO was like, well, how are we going to try to keep up with this money with Makeda not being here? She's the voice, and the face of the company. She wound up creating a 5-day real intensive to where each one of the people on the team took one day and they taught something on how to, do reels. And then we had invited special guests. So we had Candace Junaid come in. She's really big on reels on Instagram. So she was one of our special guests. And so they put that whole thing together. Now, this is not a lot of money, but they bought in $2,500, just with that 5-day reel. And so for me, that could be a commission check. That could be something that some people may make, in a month, but they were able to accumulate that just in 5 days of having this event while I was in the hospital. I couldn't even watch the replay or tune in like I would have normally to see what was going on because I'm nosy. I want to see like what's happening, but I couldn't even tune in, and I just had to trust my team. And had it not been for that moment, I would never have known that, wait a minute, Makeda, you don't have to be on all these consultation calls. You don't have to be the one teaching every single thing. Your team is worthy of being able to teach your agents now. And so that's what I realized when I was sick, and it did run without me. Now, in full transparency, it didn't bring in the income like it would have if I wasn't sick, but the business still functioned and ran without me, and we still had our 5-figure month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a true stream of income. You weren't there.
I went there.
You weren't there. And that's what a stream of income truly is, something coming in and you're not doing anything yourself physically for it.
Yep. And I have a membership program as well called Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. We have 2 levels. We have the penthouse level and then we have the mansion level. And so I came up with those names just because it played off of, real estate as well. And so with the membership, that is passive income. You don't I was in the hospital seeing payments come through for $20 and $47, per month because people are already on a payment plan. And then the team just stepped up to make sure that the membership had what they needed for that month.
Wow. So what's the difference between the penthouse and the mansion plans?
I'm glad you asked that question. So the penthouse is our basic membership program where you get social media templates, you get an ebook, you get a masterclass, you get we have a social pajama party. We have like all of these different basic things that goes on in the penthouse. Still next level stuff, but in the mansion, because like what I told you earlier is that one of the pushbacks that I got from agents about why they could not create a course or they couldn't create an ebook, they didn't have the time. They didn't know what to do. So I took the middle person out. I made myself the middle person. And now in the mansion, they get access to everything that the membership offers over the years. Because in the penthouse, it's month to month. So now in the mansion, you get everything over the last 2 to 3 years that we're going to have the membership. Plus, you get to license our ebooks. So we have a first-time homebuyer ebook. We have a house hacking ebook. I don't know what the third one is. My team knows. But those things are now licensed to the other agents within the group so that they can take the ebook that we have already went out, we have written, did the work for you. We're giving it to you as a license. And now you can take the ebook and market it as your own product so that you can bring in additional streams of income inside of the mansion. So now inside of the mansion, in the penthouse, we tell you how to do it yourself. In the mansion, we're actually giving you the product so that you can license the product.
Wow. So a question that a realtor who is looking to bring on an additional stream of income would probably have, is there anything that they need to do to get cleared by their broker?
So I would always, I'm very cautious. I'm not a lawyer, but what I would normally tell a real estate agent is just to have that conversation with their broker because you don't know what's in the agreements. Now, typically with a real estate broker agent agreement, like nothing about a digital product or having like a physical planner or a digital planner is in it to where you have to go through your own brokerage in order to have that. So I would start my own company where that company actually has the digital products under that company. The same thing with real estate investments. You're not taking that through your brokerage. You're taking it through your own investment company. So you would just have your own company. Same thing for consultants. So if you were a real estate consultant, you're going to have your own real estate consultant company to where you are having these consultations with an investor, and maybe you're charging a fee or you're doing a property walkthrough with the investor because they need more than just a real estate service. They need you to actually, help them to build out what the plan is when they purchase this property, they flip this property, they put it back on the market. What does all of this look like? Typically, agents in the past have done all of these things for free when you can actually build out a business to where this is the service that you provide.
Gotcha. And you hit on a good point that it's typically done for free. If it's done for free and the masses are doing it for free, how do you create the value to charge?
Oh, I love this question all the time because it's with anything. Just like there are a lot of business consultants out there that will consult with you for free. There are a lot of business coaches that some of them will coach you for free. So when you think about this, whatever industry you're in, you have to be the one to value your service. You have to pitch to your audience what that value is. So let's say, for an example, if I am a real estate agent, right? And so there is another real estate agent, and you get this all the time. I hear agents say it all the time, but I've been doing that for free. You can continue to do that for free, but I'm not doing it for free anymore. So case in point, there was a realtor who was doing a CMA, or I would say a BPO for an investor. So, back in the day, I used to have investors call all the time, say, hey, can you do a BPO for me or a CMA for me so I can know the value of this property before I actually buy it? Well, you're not using me to buy this property, but you want to get my third party opinion on what this property is worth. I went to school for this. I have experience in this. This is $50. Now, at that time, I was taking that fee, I think, through my broker. They would pay it through my broker because it was like a BPO. You have to get paid through your broker. Just why I said, make sure you check what your state laws are. So for an example, a realtor told me that, well, Makeda, you told that investor that it's $50 for them, you to do a report for them when I do it for free. I have nothing to do with what you're doing for free versus what I choose to do for paid. Because what I'm going to do in anything that I have and services that I have, I'm going to show you why you should pay me, why I am worthy of my hire. Again, another Bible scripture, right? Why I am worthy of my hire. So I'm going to tell you about my experience. I'm going to tell you maybe about the people that I have worked with in the past, how you paying me is more than just you providing or getting a free service from somebody else. And so it's all about how you position yourself and how you position what it is that you have to offer. Same thing with a real estate agent who provides the free services, right? So what keeps somebody from down the street that's in your area going to you than going to your competitor? It's based on how you position your brand in the marketplace. And if you don't believe that somebody would pay you to write a report for them as it relates to real estate based off of your expertise and your education, then you won't have that person to pay you. My coach once told me that if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. And it was something so simple that she told me, because she gave me this whole plan. And I was like, I can't do that in a week. And she was like, well, if you think you can't, you can't. And I was like, ooh, ouch. Like it had penetrated me to where I always retell that story. And just like, for an example, my client who is a trademark attorney, it's other trademark attorneys that have a package that's cheaper than hers. But if we're going to charge a certain dollar amount, and let's say people are charging $900, she's charging $2,500. People are going to pay $2,500 if you tell them why you're worth the $2,500. But if you feel like you're not worthy of it, ain't nobody going to pay you for that. And that's why when you promote your business online, people will see your fear when you project your fear. But if I'm getting on and be like, I give you another point. So the other day, somebody had posted on Facebook and they was like, I'm looking for the best of the best. I'm looking for the best marketer. I'm looking for the best this, the best that, or whatever, best graphic designer. So somebody tagged me and was like, Makeda's the best. And so then I responded to that person. I said, thank you so much. And I said, I am the best. And so then I put a link for that person to book me, for a consultation. Well, she never booked. And I don't know if I was too arrogant for her, but 5 other people booked this week.
Wow.
And so I wound up deleting that link. I went inside of my Acuity. I deleted it because I don't even do free consultations. But because somebody tagged me and was like, she the best. And so I put it up there and I was like, I am the best. And so those people who booked me was like, well, she's saying she the best. She must be the best. Well, let me find out if she's the best. And so you can't be afraid to say that you are the best coach, or you're the best marketer, the best podcast host, the best trademark attorney, business coach, whatever it is, you got to be the best. And That's how you market your service. I'm the best realtor. I'm the best broker owner. I'm the best property manager.
So do you think that that belief is a mindset?
Yes, it is. I'll tell you, case in point. I know you like this girl talk so much, but I had a 7-figure CEO coaching program, a 12-month coaching program. And I ended the program at like 6 or 7 months because I started with all these women that were so hyped about, coming aboard and getting their products finally, like, this is it. I'm going to do it for real this time. And they got in And when I was giving them the stuff that they needed in order to build their course, master classes, create their planners, do their skincare line, they started saying, well, is anybody going to buy from me? Like, if I put this out there, isn't that too much money? Like, is it? I was like, what in the world is going on? So I had to bring in a mindset coach on top of me being the business coach to get the mindset right. But the mindset can be because you have years of people telling you that you're not good enough. And then I read this book about how this all goes back, especially with Black people into slavery, about us not being good enough. And so you have the mindset of all these years that is too high, that is too much. Nobody's going to, buy this from you. And now in a coaching program in 12 months, some people need years to get over what they have been taught for all of their lives. And so it can take a really long time. So it is a mindset issue. So it was a mindset issue for me. Somebody said, what was the struggles that you had in entrepreneurship? It was the mindset shift. Like I just told you, I just learned this year the difference between a millionaire mindset and a billionaire mindset. Ain't no limits with a billionaire. With a millionaire, you may think they ain't got limits, but they have limits. They think in how many customers, how many products. Billionaires, they don't have any limits. They don't have any, like, how many do I need to get? Like, how can I change the world is what they're thinking. When we like, how can I get the next customer as a millionaire?
Wow. So we could go a lot of different directions with that. So the realtor that's looking for multiple streams of income, and they don't really want to go outside of real estate, can you give us 5 streams that they could create using their real estate business?
So using their real estate business, 5 streams of income, just off the top of my head, you have your real estate services, right? And so then from your real estate services, let's say for an example, you have real estate services to where you work with a buyer. Now from you working with a buyer, you can have a stream of consultation links to where you have paid consultations. Do you know that there was a realtor in Chicago, and I never did this. I told her she was crazy, but I was like, well, people paying her, they paying her. She would get a buyer and she would charge them a retainer's fee. So if they wanted to retain her to work with them as their exclusive realtor, she would charge them between $250 and $500. I said, you got people paying you $250 and $500 up front just to say that they gonna work with you? And she was like, yes. And I was like, wow. And so that went through her brokerage, of course, but the fact that somebody would pay her, again, you talked about how do you get people to pay you for your actual services when there's other people out there doing for free? It's all about how you package and you present yourself before an audience. So let's say you have buyer services. Now you got buyer consultations that you get paid for. Let's say you take that and now you create an ebook for first-time home buyers. Then you take that ebook and you flip that ebook into a course. Now you got the course that you didn't create for first-time home buyers. But let's say, for an example, you take that, all those things that you got under your belt. Now you're going to start having buyer virtual summits. So that where you charging $97, you're charging $67, and then you invite all of guests. Like you can be a guest because you're a lender, and just like you just gave them information about that bum loan product, now you come on, you talk to people at this event about this loan product. So now I think I'm on, I don't know if that's a 4th string or a 5th string, but then from that virtual event, you can take it to where now you have an in-person conference, right? So from an in-person conference, I'm going more than 5 streams. So then now you have your apparel line. So let's say you have, the t-shirt line that's all about real estate as well. Let's say you have the home buying journal as well. You have the home buying, planner. So all of those different things can actually fall into multiple streams of income. I can probably keep going if we roll out, your business model and how that looks like. And then I can find the streams of business easily. And let's say, for an example, Kevin, that's just from you having buyer services. So now we got seller services. You just basically repeat the same process. Now, where you will probably blend some things would be the virtual events. So you can do that for buyers and sellers. But like that t-shirt can speak to a seller now instead of speaking to a buyer. that planner can now be for a seller selling their house than it can be for a buyer. Oh, I didn't even get into how people are scared, because I didn't gave this to a bunch of people. I don't think not one has launched it yet, even though they said that they are, a home buying program to where people are paying $10 or $20 a month to be a part of your home buying program. And people have free Facebook groups. And yes, people will pay you for your paid Facebook group if you show them the value.
How many people are in your Facebook group?
So for my Facebook group, I only have 3,000 people in my Facebook group.
Only?
You know, I pride myself. I'm going to say this. I pride myself and I give all honor to God, because I have 3,000 people in my Facebook group, but my business makes multiple streams of income with 3,000 people in my Facebook group. There are people that have 50,000 women in their Facebook group for real estate, 20-some thousand people, 30-some thousand. And they ask me, how are you monetizing your real estate platform? And I only have 3,000 people in my group. And so I'm very strategic. I don't let anybody in my group. If you come into my group, you must answer the questions. If you don't answer, you can't get in. And once you answer those questions, I'm looking to see if you are our ideal client. So you have to be a licensed real estate agent. And if you tell me, no, I just want to learn social media, I still let you in a group anyway, because I have clients that are not, real estate agents. But for the most part, 3,000 members. That's it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, right. But I mean, for me to be at 3,000 and then for others to be at 20,000 and 50,000 and be able to have multiple six-figure, income, it's amazing.
Right. So it sounds like you're more quality than quantity.
There you go. That, because we did post it in the group. I was like, we're not looking for quantity over here. We're just not. And, again, that's the strategist in me, that I'm not just letting anybody into our private space.
Gotcha. So this is the most pressing question. Can a guy get into Savvy Chicks of Real Estate?
If they answer the questions, I would definitely let them in. So like if you, like you as a loan officer, because we have other loan officers in our group too. So if you answer the questions, yeah, I will let you in. People ask me, well, are guys invited to the conference? If they buy a ticket, of course, they can absolutely have a seat at the conference. And we had guys at the conference as well. As like this past year, we had guys at the conference. So anybody that buy a ticket is welcome. Because what we do at Savvy Chicks and Real Estate Conference is the same thing that you just asked me about the membership. We're teaching agents how to make multiple streams of income. So I have people from property management, people that's flipping properties, people that's buying and holding. We had somebody this past year, Davon Reeves, who bought a friend with her college bestie or whatever, about a hotel with her college bestie. So now we introduced to realtors that they can actually, as a Black person, which less than 2% are hotel owners, can actually buy a whole hotel. Like you can have your own Hilton under your belt if you wanted to, so that they are not just dependent upon real estate transactions again. Some other things, we had broker owners on there as well. We had attorneys to tell you how to protect your brand, what type of business contracts you should be using. So a whole host of different people to show you how to maximize. Next year, I want to get people to talk more about this Bitcoin crypto. Now, I didn't been pushing away from it all this time, but I think we got to start having a conversation about it for those who want it as an actual option.
Got you. Wow. This was a great interview. A lot of great information. How much is it to get your course? So for the membership program, it's $47 for the Penthouse. And then it is $97 per month for the mansion program. To get my course, the courses range from $47 to $147. So they're all very inexpensive. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, Makeda, this is awesome. I'm glad, like I said, I know I've said it multiple times. I truly appreciate you taking out time to spend with me on the podcast. And for those who are interested in joining your Facebook group or reaching out to you, how can they contact you via social media?
So social media is Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. On Instagram is Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. For our Facebook group, same thing for our business page. So if you Google Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, you would definitely find us. And our membership is on our Facebook, not Facebook, it's on our website, along with the link to get to our Facebook group.
Gotcha. So for those of you listening, the links will be at the bottom of the show notes on the podcast and on YouTube. Makeda, thank you for your time. This is the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with Kevin Jefferson. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when the latest video drops.